So, if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Maine, here is what $500,000 will get you in Southern Maine. Let's get into it. By the way, my name's Margaret. I'm a local realtor, and if you have any questions about this video or about the area, feel free to reach out. All of that information is down in the description below. We also have a free relocation guide available if you're moving or relocating, which can be super helpful for figuring out what you need to do next. So, in a previous video that was posted roughly maybe 2 weeks ago now, we discussed what the average home cost in the US would get you in the state of Maine as a whole. So now I want to focus more on the Southern Maine area, as that's where we're located. That's where more of the real estate in Maine is located, as you can see. Just to kind of give you a overview of the last video or a summary of the last video, we discussed how if you're relocating to Northern Maine versus Southern Maine, or the coast versus inland, that if you go a little bit more inland and a little bit more north, you're going to get a little bit more of a house for what you're spending. So it's not a huge difference. Maine takes about 8 hours to drive from the bottom to the top of the state. So there is a little bit of fluctuation there with what your money is going to get you. Generally speaking, it's going to give you a little bit more square footage, maybe an extra bathroom or two. But it's not a huge difference, but it's definitely something to note. So now if we take a look in the Southern Maine area, again, I want to kind of go along the coast and then show you some homes inland as well. So starting down right at the bottom of the state in Kittery and Elliott, right above Portsmouth. We're going to start looking through some of these properties, like for instance, this one, $500,000, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet, nice home. And now we'll kind of just click along the edge of the coast. You'll see that a lot of the houses, they're not huge. Generally speaking, 1,900 square feet, or even as low as 1,000 feet. This is up to $500,000. Now, let's set a minimum price here. That way we're seeing roughly $500,000. Let's do 450 to 500 just to kind of give us a little bit of a buffer there. So if we're starting down at the bottom of the state, $500,000 in, this is South Berwick. I guess we could go a little bit farther south, but 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, what looks like a beautiful home being built. Let's see if we can go a little bit south of here, maybe into Elliott. Yep, right here, just under $500,000. So you're going to get, kind of the same thing house-wise along the coast. Some towns, maybe Kennebunkport or Agunquit, or if you're going a little bit farther up the coast near Portland, Freeport, or even up here by Camden, things might be a little bit more expensive. But generally speaking, the houses are fairly similar along the entire coast of Maine. And if we start to look inland towards maybe some of the cities, things are going to change a little bit. So looking in and around the Sanford area, which is the southernmost city in the state, you're still going to get some fairly nice houses for what you're paying for. You'll just notice that you might be able to get a little bit of a bigger house, maybe an extra bathroom or some extra square footage, like here, 2,815 square feet in Shapley. And now Biddeford is the next city up, but again, it is along the coast, so things can get a little bit pricier. And in the Lewiston, Auburn area, as you can see, the houses, they're not really varying too much. It can kind of depend town to town. How much you're going to be, or how much you're going to get for the amount of money that you're spending. But generally speaking, you might get, even if you're not seeing a difference in the amount of money that you're spending, because in Southern Maine, it is generally speaking, it's not that drastic of a difference being on the coast versus being inland when you're comparing not just the price. The price can be a little bit more expensive, but for what you're getting, the amount of beds, baths, how much square feet isn't going to change that much, but you can definitely acquire a lot more land if you're looking inland, or if you travel north in the state, you're going to be able to get a significantly larger parcel of land. You're not going to be able to get all that much in Kennebunk, Maine. And one other thing I'd like to point out is just the fact that in certain areas of Maine, specifically York and Cumberland County, you're going to notice more newer homes being built. That's not to say that there aren't a lot of old houses in Maine. There definitely are. We have some of the oldest housing stock in the entire country, but generally York and Cumberland County, these two southernmost counties, York being roughly around here, Cumberland County being around here. There's just been more development in the past couple of decades in these two counties. And so you're going to notice, a lot of newer houses. So depending on what you're looking for, that may also kind of aid in your decision on where you're going to move in the state. So that was what $500,000 will get you in Southern Maine in 2023. I hope you found this video helpful. And again, my name's Margaret. I'm a local realtor. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All of that information's down below. And make sure to download our free relocation guide that is also linked down below. It can be super helpful if you're moving or relocating to the area, and we'll see you next time.